Right now, someone is refreshing their Instagram for the 5th time in 10 minutes. Someone else is typing a text message, deleting it, retyping it, terrified of saying the wrong thing. Another person is sitting in a meeting, nodding along with ideas they hate because disagreeing feels too dangerous. This isn't weakness. This is the most devastating addiction of our time. It doesn't come in a bottle or a needle. It doesn't destroy your liver or empty your bank account. But it will hollow out your soul. Because the drug we're all chasing is other people's approval. And the worst part, most of us don't even know we're addicted. Picture this. You're about to post something online. Maybe it's a photo, maybe it's an opinion. But before you hit share, something happens. A voice in your head starts editing. Will they think this is stupid? Does this make me look desperate? What if nobody likes it? So you change it, polish it, make it safer. You think you're being smart, but actually you just fed the addiction. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who wrote Meditations, understood this trap 2,000 years ago. He wrote, "How much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does." But we've built a world where everyone's neighbor is watching, where every moment can be judged, rated, and rejected. The smartphone in your pocket isn't just a device. It's a portable approval machine, and every notification is another hit of the drug. Ping, someone liked your photo. Dopamine floods your brain. Silence, no one responded to your comment. Anxiety creeps in. This cycle doesn't happen by accident. Tech companies have weaponized your need to belong. They've turned your human instinct for connection into a slot machine. And every pull of that lever takes you further from who you really are. Carl Jung called it the persona, the mask we wear to survive in society. Everyone has one. The professional mask, the family mask, the social media mask. These masks aren't evil, they're necessary. But here's where it gets dangerous. We forget they're masks. You start as someone playing a role, but slowly the role starts playing you. The good student who never asks challenging questions. The team player who never speaks up about problems. The strong friend who never admits they're struggling. These aren't just behaviors, they become identities. And underneath the mask, the real you starts suffocating. Søren Kierkegaard saw this happening in 1800s Denmark. He called it the sickness unto death, not physical death, but spiritual death, the death of your authentic self. He wrote, "The most common form of despair is not being who you are." Think about that. The most common form of despair is not being who you are. How many people do you know who seem successful, popular, well-liked, but somehow empty? How many times have you felt that emptiness yourself? If something just clicked in your chest, like a door opening in a dark room, hit that like button. Because this isn't just a video. This is your wake-up call, and we're just getting started. Social media promised to connect us. Instead, it turned life into a 24/7 performance. Every meal becomes a photo opportunity. Every experience becomes content. Every emotion gets filtered through the question, how will this look to others? But here's where nobody talks about: the exhaustion, the mental load of constantly curating yourself, of remembering which version of you each person expects to see. Goffman wrote about this in The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life. He showed how we're all actors, managing impressions, controlling what others see. But social media took that natural process and supercharged it. Now the stage never goes dark. The audience never goes home. And the performer, you, never gets to rest. You start measuring your worth in metrics, likes, comments, shares, views. Your self-esteem becomes a graph that goes up and down based on the approval of strangers. And the cruelest part? It's never enough. Because approval is like junk food for the soul. It gives you a quick high, but it never truly nourishes. So you need more and more and more, until you realize you spent years of your life optimizing for the opinions of people who don't even know your middle name. Friedrich Nietzsche had a name for this: herd morality. The tendency to think, feel, and act like everyone else, not because it's right, but because it's safe. He wasn't insulting people. He was pointing out a trap. The herd offers protection. If everyone agrees, then no one can be wrong. If everyone approves, then everyone belongs. But the cost of herd membership is your individuality, your weird thoughts, your uncomfortable questions, your inconvenient truths, all sacrificed on the altar of acceptance. Nietzsche wrote, "The individual has always had to struggle not to be overwhelmed by the tribe." But today's tribe isn't just your village or your family. It's everyone, all the time, with opinions louder than ever. The pressure to conform isn't just social anymore. It's digital, algorithmic, relentless. And the result? A generation of people who know exactly what they're supposed to think, feel, and want, but have no idea what they actually think, feel, and want. Here's a question that will change your life. When was the last time you disappointed someone on purpose? Not by accident, not because you messed up, but because you chose your truth over their comfort. Most people can't answer that question because most people are terrified of disappointment. But Alfred Adler, the psychologist who inspired The Courage to Be Disliked, understood something crucial. You cannot live an authentic life without disappointing people. Because authentic means honest, and honesty means saying things others don't want to hear. It means having boundaries when people want you to be available. It means having opinions when people want you to be agreeable. It means having needs when people want you to be selfless. The people who truly love you will respect your authenticity. The people who only love your performance will disappear. And that's not a loss, that's liberation. But why is approval so addictive in the first place? Because rejection feels like death. Not metaphorically, literally. For most of human history, being rejected by your tribe meant actual death. No group protection, no shared resources, no survival. So your brain evolved to treat social rejection like a physical threat. That's why criticism hits like a punch. Why being ignored feels like suffocation. Why disappointing others triggers panic. Your nervous system is trying to keep you alive, but it's using software designed for a world that no longer exists. The result? You abandon yourself to avoid abandonment. You silence your voice to avoid being silenced. You hide your truth to avoid being hidden. And slowly, without realizing it, you teach your body that being yourself is dangerous, that love must be earned, that worth must be performed, that safety lives in self-betrayal. This becomes your operating system, and it's killing you from the inside. So how do you break free? Not by becoming a rebel, not by rejecting all feedback, not by burning bridges and isolating yourself, but by learning to distinguish between connection and captivity.
Healthy relationships challenge you to be more yourself. Toxic relationships pressure you to be less yourself. Healthy feedback helps you grow. Toxic approval keeps you small. The goal isn't to stop caring what people think. The goal is to care about the right people's thoughts for the right reasons. Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, discovered something profound in the concentration camps. The people who survived weren't the strongest or the most popular. They were the ones who had meaning. He wrote, "Everything can be taken from a person but one thing, the freedom to choose one's attitude in any given circumstances." When you live for approval, you give away that freedom. You let other people choose your attitude, your values, your direction. But when you live for meaning, for something bigger than popularity, you reclaim that power. There's a version of you that exists underneath all the masks. The version that existed before you learned to perform. Before you discovered that love could be conditional. Before you started editing yourself for other people's comfort. That version isn't gone. It's just buried. under years of what will they think, under layers of I should and I have to, under the weight of trying to be everything to everyone. But it's still there, waiting. Not waiting to be liked, waiting to be chosen by you. And the moment you choose it, the moment you decide that being real is more important than being liked, something miraculous happens. You stop performing and start living. You stop asking what do they want to hear and start asking what do I need to say. You stop curating and start creating. And yes, some people will disapprove. Some will be confused, disappointed, even angry. But others, the right others, will finally see you, really see you. And that connection, that recognition, that love, it's worth more than 1,000,000 hollow likes. If this video cracked something open inside you, don't just scroll away. Like it, share it, subscribe. Not for the algorithm, but for the part of you that's ready to stop performing and start being. The mask was never who you were. It's time to let it go. The most dangerous addiction in the world isn't drugs or alcohol. It's the addiction to being someone you're not. But the cure is simple. Choose yourself, even when, especially when, it's scary. Your real life is waiting on the other side of that choice.